Well, hello there, motherfuckers. I was gonna do a trailer reaction because I waited a while to watch this trailer. I've been listening to other people's reactions to it, and I'm not very excited for it because I've heard such negativity. But, you know, I've always said this. There's like a number of things that I like that a lot of people have hated. You know, for example, like I enjoy watching Spider-Man 3. I like Venom, Batman vs. Superman. There's been a number of movies that I have enjoyed that other people have hated. TV shows, you know, I think it's more that I don't really care about a lot of shows that people like. They don't really interest me, so, you know, I have differing opinions. But, like, when it comes to Star Trek, the only series that I really enjoy are the original and the Next Generation. So now, of course, they gotta pull at my heartstrings a little bit by bringing out Star Trek Picard. You know, that was the thing. I was never crazy about the crews on Voyager and Deep Space Nine. And Enterprise was like, and now there's like Discovery, which, like, just get out of here with that stuff. Like, the thing is, I love the original series. I think that Next Generation is a better show because there's better character development. There's just more eventfulness. There's so many things going on. You know, the rivalry with the Romulans. You know, the entertaining nature of the Ferengi. The Borg is so menacing, and just, you know, the best of both worlds is just, oh my god. If you want to, you know, if you're like gonna watch like, well, technically 2 episodes, you gotta watch that episode. You know, when they turn Picard into a Borg, it's so awesome. I mean, Next Generation, just amazing. You know, and if I had to pick, like, my favorite characters, Data is so fascinating, and Android, that, like, the little progressions that you see that, you know, where he makes towards humanity, where he can't quite be human, but, you know, he sometimes, like, hints at it, and you're like, well, you know, and they always do it in a very clever way. So, he's going to be returning for this series, and we've got Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart is, you know, he's very advanced in years, of course, you know, so now he's back and he's going to get his own series. And so, you know, that's probably the thing what a lot of people are saying. How is he going to be like the main character of this series when he's like an older guy, you know? But then again, you kind of like look at this series and he never really got into the action like Captain Kirk. He wasn't like beating people up all the time. You know, he was definitely more diplomatic. He was definitely a calmer captain, a more artsy captain, a more refined captain. So, you know, it does kind of fit into the nature of Captain Picard. And, you know, it's great that they got him. But you watch this trailer, and the reason why I'm not showing any footage right here is because I am sick and tired of getting copyright claimed by all these different production companies all the time. You know, because I'm talking over and reacting to their trailers and like giving them free promotion. Oh my, so criminal-like. Anyway, so I'm not doing that. So, you know, go watch the trailer. I'll leave the link down in the description so you can go check it out for yourselves. But this right here, you know, this trailer, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit photos, you know, into here so you can see like little pieces of like what I'm talking about. So, you know, of course this is modern day, you know, so it can't just be, you know, maybe get Jonathan Frakes in there, maybe get, you know, we already have Brent Spiner to play Data. You know, people were saying like, oh, you know, what, Data has been brought back from the dead. Well, he is an android, so it is possible. And also, people didn't like Nemesis to begin with, so they might be like retconning that completely. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, nowadays with the reboots and the sequels, like, are we even surprised anymore about this type of thing? Is it really like shocking to a lot of people? It really shouldn't be. But when I'm watching this trailer, like, there's some girl that's there to help out Picard, and, you know, like, they show Jerry Ryan in there, and just, like, you know, it's just, there's some nostalgia in there. But I watched this trailer, and maybe it's just a trailer, and maybe they just got all wrapped up in, like, introducing new ideas and the nostalgia. It just came off looking like a giant mess, basically. I don't know, like, what that was supposed to be. First of all, it didn't even look like Star Trek. You know, Gene Roddenberry, like, started things off to the point where, you know, it's kind of, I wouldn't say easy, but easier than other series to build on, because it's a pretty, like, branched out series. You know, there's so many different, like, planets, and the idea that they're traveling to different parts of the galaxy, and they go into different galaxies, and sometimes they get sucked into wormholes, and there's even one time where they end up, like, in an alternate reality. Like, there's just so many different concepts that they have done. You know, time travel, alternate dimensions, like, you know what I mean? Alternate realities. They've introduced all those concepts, so they have, like, an unlimited amount of possibilities. But of course, you know, we bring it back in 2019, and it has to be as lazy as possible, you know. Let's just bring back Patrick Stewart. It's enough, right? You know, it's enough. Brent Spiner, hey, there's Jerry Ryan. You know, it's like, okay. So, I mean, you know, Jerry Ryan was popular. I mean, that's, you know, her alone was probably one of the reasons why a lot of people wanted to watch Voyager. You know, okay, you know, aside from, you know, the attractiveness of her, I mean, it's got to, you know, the idea of her being half Borg was interesting. So, you know, it is a little bit odd that, like, they'd bring her in when this is kind of like a next generation type of thing, and they already have a girl. And that's what really annoyed me about this, because, you know, that's the thing what's going on now, you know, with Captain Marvel and Terminator and Ghostbusters and all this stuff. You know, it's going on right now in 2019, babies. It's all about, you know, feminizing everything. It's got to, you know, so to me, in this trailer, that girl, like, the name of the show is Picard. Picard. That's the name of the show. And, you know, to me, like, that's also, like, a lazy name. It also is, like, a very, like, limited concept. Like, okay, like, you know, Picard was, like, already the star of Next Generation. Now we just have a show called Picard. But whatever, that's besides the point. It doesn't really matter what's in the name after all, right? But to me, it's like this girl is, like, totally taking the spotlight. You know, she's, like, all martial artsy, and to me, it just looked like an action show. And it just looked like something that you would see, like, just on like a Netflix series. It looked like one of the Marvel shows on Netflix. Like, it didn't look like something Star Trek. First of all, like, they were, like, on a planet, like, they were in houses or, like, buildings. And, like, yeah, okay, sometimes, you know, they show them, like, landing on planets, and there's sometimes in the buildings, but it's rare. And, like, the fact that you would, like, reintroduce this nostalgia to a new audience, and it's, like, it just looked boring, like, in a setting, especially now where everything is so samey, and it's just, everything is so familiar. Wouldn't it have been great to, like, I don't know, you know, get back on the Enterprise or some other ship like that? But no, instead, like, let's just have Picard sitting in a house, you know, like, just a really horrible way of introducing this classic character, you know, reintroducing this classic character to a new audience and to returning audiences. Now, don't get me wrong, they do still show a little bit of footage of them on some starship with some other guy there. They show a shot of the Borg ship. So, you know, there is space in here, so, you know, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. It's just the trailer. Like, why would they show all that other stuff? You know what it looked to me like? Just some clips from the first episode. But like, why would you show like the unexciting parts? Like, wouldn't you want to get people pumped? You know, Next Generation has been off the air for over 20 years now. And not only that, but people are not happy with the current direction of Star Trek, as am I. So this would have been the perfect opportunity to get that done. And for some reason, they just decide, you know what, we're just not going to do that. We're just going to, you know, put together the laziest trailer possible. And they don't even have the respect to put this on TV. Instead, it's going to be on CBS All Access, their streaming service. And I am getting sick and damn tired of these streaming services. Like, it's already Netflix. There's already Hulu. Now there has to be a Disney streaming service and a DC streaming service, and CBS has their streaming service. Like, there's all these different streaming services. You know, even now, like Cartoon Network is like, I think is Boomerang has their streaming service. Like, hey, you gotta pay for like everything now. Like, if you want to watch something, like, so at one point, like, this was great because it kind of just made cable irrelevant. It made any type of television service irrelevant. You know, it made Comcast, it made Verizon, it made, you know, Time Warner, Spectrum. It just made them completely irrelevant because you could see these shows online on any device of your choosing at any time you wanted. So, you know, now that everything now is like going to be divided up into streaming, and things are no longer one place, and they're pulling shows from different streaming service so they could be on their own, it like defeats the purpose of even having a streaming service to begin with. Because everyone got greedy and everybody wants to do the same idea, an idea that they didn't even come up with, but they want to capitalize on it. It's going to be another market that's going to sink into the ocean. Like, pretty soon, that's why you see, like, people are just, like, going on YouTube and watching stuff there. Like, I'm telling you stuff. I know people. There's people, like, I'm not like this, but, like, people like to bootleg things. They like to download torrents and stuff like that. You know, they will get around. I'm like one of the few people I know that actually like likes to go to a movie at the movies and not just watch it on their computer and like download it illegally. Like, you know, it's like I actually like the experience of going to the theater, knowing I've got my ticket and everything. It's just something I like to do. But it's like, people gotta understand, like, it's gonna be the same thing with these streaming services. You know, there's some people that don't even want to pay for Netflix to be able to see these shows. You know, like, it's just something that people just don't want to do. They don't want to like waste their money and like have their credit card being taken out for all these different services at the end of the month. It's ridiculous. So it's like just a lot of things very annoying about this series. And like, quite frankly, it's like I'm not going to check it out because I'm not paying CBS to see one show. Because quite frankly, this show doesn't even look like it's really going to be anything good. I'm sure Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner, they're great actors. They're going to give it their all. But, like, this girl in there, like, she don't even fit in. Not Jerry Ryan, but I'm talking about the ninja girl that's, like, doing all these, like, kicks and stuff. Like, what is that? What is that? What am I looking at there? It does not seem Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. It's a show with the Captain Picard character in it, and they're making like it's Star Trek. It's like, and that was like the last movie that they had. What was it? Star Trek Discover. What was the name of the third movie that they had out? Like, just terrible. Just a terrible movie that like didn't even look like Star Trek. It didn't have the philosophy. It didn't have the Star Trek feel. It felt like some random sci-fi action movie. That's what this looked like. Some random sci-fi action TV show. Something, it looked like something that from the Sci-Fi Channel that would be canceled in 2 months. Like, wouldn't even be able to make it to the end of the first season. That's how, you know, unwelcoming it looked. So there you go, guys. What did you think of the trailer if you watched it? Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, I will see you next time.